Give thanks to the Lord. Call on his name. Make known among the nations what he has done. Sing to him, praise to him, tell of all his wonderful acts. Glory in his holy name. Let the hearts of those who seek the Lord rejoice. Look to the Lord and his strength. Seek his face always. That is our word of today from the book of knowledge. Psalm 105. Today I have what others call a stick sometimes, which is a sugar cane. And just like the way this sugar cane is full of good vibes and sweetness, today's video is my friend. You don't wanna miss out. If you haven't subscribed, please do so that you don't miss out on the type of videos you shall be seeing today. Let's dive in. Good vibes all the way.
This is going to sound a little funny. It doesn't mean we don't care about you. We love you unconditionally. But we don't care whether you listen to us. I do what I do because this is who I am. This is what excites me. This is my passion. I know that because it's my passion, someone is going to listen and someone is going to get it. And that's the only one I need to care that gets it. I don't have to care whether anyone else gets it because I'm not doing it so you will get it. I'm doing it because this is who I am, and because it's who I am and because I understand how this works, I know that some of you will get it. And that's good enough. Because the rest that don't get it aren't going to get it anyway from me. They'll get it somewhere else, and I know that too. So it's not like it has to be my job to make sure you get it. The one that will make sure eventually that you get it is called life.
Animals are amazing, extremely wonderful. Oh, look at this one there. I was playing ball with humans, and it's just good vibes. You see, these animals sometimes they crave for love from us humans, some compassion, and it's just what we should always do to them wonderful souls. You see, look at this one. I don't know which animal this is. To me, it looks like animals in movies. You see, I don't think it's real. But if it is, man, it's a good vibes animal. Good people of Earth. What do you call this
I would like to know what I can do to better hear my higher mind.
Shut up. Now, you know I'm being a little bit facetious.
Yes.
As we said, when you allow yourself to understand that the physical mind has a particular job and just let it do that job, it will kind of quiet down and allow you more opportunity to recognize when the higher mind is speaking to you through the synchronicity in your life, through your imagination, through your dreams, through whatever form it needs to help you understand more of who you are, to reflect that to you. And of course, as we said, excitement being a complete kit, it contains more ability to recognize the higher mind when you need to by acting on your highest excitement and expanding and raising your vibration that way. But the idea is to understand your physical mind through an analogy, let's say, similar to the idea of a diving mask. If you go deep sea diving, you put on a diving mask in order to be able to see more clearly in that environment. Well, that's what the physical mind is. It's the diving mask that allows you to have the focus you need to have what you call a physical experience. So the idea is that's its job, that's really its only job. But when you tell the diving mask that it has to tell you where to go, and it has to know everything you're seeing, and it has to know how everything happened, and what brought you here, and where you're going to go from here, and what happened in the past, the diving mask will just begin to crack. That's not its job. It was never designed to do that job. It will crack under the pressure. And it will resent that, create resentment. It'll become the negative ego. It will think it has to do everything. It will think it's controlling everything. And it will be, in your terms, an experience of being out of control. But when you allow yourself to relax and say, no, 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 no. Your only job is to have the experience we're having, to have fun, to absorb it, and pass that information back up to the soul, to the oversoul, to wherever. Just relax and do your job. Let the higher mind also do its job and work in concert with it. As soon as you're working in concert, in tandem, in alignment, in harmony, that way, by letting each component of your being do its job, the job it was designed to do, then the communication between the two becomes more fluid and you become more aware of it when you need to. Remember that you're not always aware of when you're receiving a communication from your higher mind because you don't always need to. If you were always aware of when you were receiving guidance from the higher mind, you wouldn't get to live your life in an uninterrupted way. You'd be very, very quickly telling your higher mind, will you please shut the hell up? Let me live my life. Well, that's what the higher mind is already doing. It will act subtly. It will use what's already in front of your face and give you synchronicity. Oh, I don't know how I turned left down the street when I normally turn right, but as I turned left, I overheard this conversation that gave me the information I needed so badly. How did that happen automatically? The higher mind probably just needed to say, turn left. And that's all it needed to do. Just that urge to turn left, just that absent-mindedness to turn left at that moment might have been a very powerful message from the higher mind. But you don't necessarily need to know that. You just need to use the information that the suggestion brought you to hear. You understand?
Yes.
Is this helping you recognize that you are constantly receiving guidance and communication from your higher mind, but that you don't always have to know that you are?
Yes. Yes.
And the paradox is, as soon as you let it be all right that you don't necessarily know every single message coming from your higher mind, you will probably open up and be more aware of the messages coming from your higher mind. Use the power of paradox. Yes?
Yes.
Does that help?
It helps a lot. Thank you.
Why, thank you. And may I ask you a question?
Yes.
During this conversation, was your physical mind quieter?
Yes.
Well, there you go. All you need to do is imagine this kind of interaction with your higher mind, and your physical mind will quiet down. Unless there's some issue you haven't resolved, which it may be knocking on your door to bring your attention to. And if it's doing that, then thank it and say, I'll pay attention to that right now so that you can operate more smoothly. Yes?
Yes.
Does that help?
It does. Thank you.
Why, thank you.
The devil does not and will not play fair. Listen to this.
The trouble is, when you play with the devil, he doesn't play fair. He'll give you everything you want, all the drugs you want, all the women you want, all the promises, and all the power you want. And when he's done with you, he'll kick the legs out from under you. And that's why you hear rock stars sometimes say, I sold my soul to the devil. Because once you make that trade, he'll give you what you want. But people need to understand that the devil is not sharing his kingdom with anyone. And I was studying all this witchcraft. I thought everything was wonderful. The same spirits that gave me power began to turn on me. I thought I had arrived. The same spirits that gave me power to read cards and astral project and the psyche power. It was as if all of a sudden the same voices that would say this man is committing adultery or this woman steals at work or this girl's going to get married last year when I was reading cards would now say to me, you should die. Said I would walk around with a gun in my mouth. I can remember the metal used to burn my tongue. I would just suck on a gun waiting for the moment to stop this power that I had entered into, to stop the destruction of my mind.
家人们气得我肚子疼。
Why do you need them to like you? Why is that so important that they like you? Are you basing your entire worth on whether or not they like you? If they don't like you, you're going to feel less than them? Less deserving of something? Yes?
Yeah.
Why do you need them to like you? What will happen if they don't? Here's a good way to find out your definitions. There are two ways to approach this primarily. You can ask yourself when you're feeling something, what would I have to believe is true about myself in this situation in order to feel the way I do? That's one. The other way, what we're exploring right now is, what am I afraid will happen? What am I terrified will happen if I allow myself to be who I prefer to be? What's the worst possible thing I imagine might happen if I allow myself to be who I prefer to be? Can you answer the question that way? So you're saying they won't like me if I'm myself. Yes?
Yes.
So what if they don't? Is that what determines whether you like yourself or not?
No.
Well, then why are you doing that? Why are you determining your worth and your likability and your lovability on whether someone else reflects the idea or shows you the idea of likability or lovability? Why does it matter what they think about you when they don't even know who you really are?
I guess it doesn't matter.
Well, it doesn't. So the question is, why are you making it matter? What do you get out of making it matter?
Nothing.
Well, then why do you do it?
I get joy knowing that, like, people enjoy me, and if they don't, or if I feel they don't, I feel less.
But pay attention, because none of you do anything you don't believe is benefiting you somehow. None of you. Not for a second. So the question is, what belief have you attached to the idea of them not liking you that you believe actually benefits you? It's a very deep question.
Yeah.
Here's how it works. You all have the same motivational mechanism. You are always, and I mean always, without fail, instantaneously, immediately, you're always going to move in the direction of what you believe is to your benefit. You will always move away from what you believe does not benefit you. Always, without fail. Therefore, if you see yourself moving in the direction, doing things, behaving in ways that don't benefit you, that can only mean you've attached a definition to it that makes it appear to be more beneficial than the alternative. Then you have a definition you can discover. You understand? Then you can find out what that definition is you've attached to that thing, and once you discover what it is, you can unlock that definition from that thing and realize that that definition doesn't serve you, it's nonsensical, it's illogical, you don't need it, you'll drop it, and you will start moving in the direction of your joy, which is what you say you prefer. But if your behavior doesn't follow suit, if your emotions don't follow suit, it's because you're telling yourself a story that to move in that direction will actually be worse than staying where you are as much as you don't enjoy it. Some people don't move in the direction of their highest excitement because they believe that if they do, as painful as it is to be where they are, it's familiar, it's comfortable, and they're afraid that the unknown will contain something worse. So they will stay as far away from that unknown factor as far as they can. Do you understand?
Yeah.
That's an interlocked belief system that has no business being locked together. Because it's not empirically true that the unknown contains danger. That's just your definition of it.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So it's important to find the definitions you've attached to your motivational mechanism that is making it work backwards. And once you detach those things, it will flip around and work forwards for you. But you have to find that definition. Is this helping?
Yeah.
So, what are you afraid will happen if you just be yourself? And so what if they say, oh, I don't like you. You're not lovable to me.
I guess it doesn't matter.
No.
No.
Because only what you say goes for you. Yes?
Yes.
And the irony is, you will find that sometimes when you say, they'll say, oh, she's stronger than I thought. I like her.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
So start loving yourself enough to be yourself and allow yourself to have your own opinion of yourself, not one built out of other people's opinions of you. Because those are always much more shaky than your own knowledge of who and what you are, and they cannot stand up. And thus you do not have a strong personality when it's built out of other people's opinions. Because those are just their opinions They're not yours, and they carry no substance for you. It's just an illusion that they do.
Yeah.
Bless you. Yes?
Yes.
Does this help you?
Yeah, that helped me a lot.
All right, well, go forth boldly. And by the way, we love you.
Thank you. Thanks for sharing.
Wow. Proud tortoise looks after his baby goat. This is a good vibe, son comment. Wonderful. These animals are good vibes, my friends. Like these ones, they are different breed species. Stray dog helps the elderly person to walk in the street. Wow, this is very loving of the dog, man. This is wonderful. Look at this dog. Here it is possible to say this dog has some humanity in it. You see? Because this is some good vibes gesture. Lots of love, man. Everyone cheers for the last dog in the race. Well, this one was slow to reach, but eventually they reached the end. That's what really matters. This is incredible. The humans there being motivating, and it's just good vibes, you see?
We use a symbol code, which is a scalar wave guide, that's called the Hierophant symbol. You can visualize the symbol quickly by simply picturing the image of a flat, two-dimensional Star of David, or six-pointed star. We call that the Merkaba star. And we will picture it in the color of pale silver. The color is important, and even if you can't visualize yet, some people don't have the DNA strand activation yet to get clear visuals, just imagining that you're visualizing it is still creating that energy pattern there, even though you're not perceiving it through the sixth chakra yet. So it's a pale silver image of a Star of David. Cathara Healing explains why that's used. So we'll just imagine that symbol. We'll imagine the symbol at the pineal gland in the center of the brain. Just spend a minute, not a whole minute, just a little bit of time getting a clear feeling of the energy of that thought form that you're creating now, the Hierophant symbol. It's the activation code for your 12th dimensional maharic shield. Visualize the pale silver Star of David, Merkaba star, in the center of your brain, in the pineal gland. Take a few gentle breaths, and then on a final inhale, inhale and move your energy up to grab that symbol code, and on the exhale, push it down rapidly, down into the Earth's core. And if you feel like you missed the first time, you only got it halfway down, go up to where you feel like it got stuck, and another inhale, and exhale it down into the Earth's core. Now, you can simply take 3 breaths. On the inhale, you will draw energy in, and on the exhale, you will push energy out into that symbol code down in the Earth's core. And as you do, you will notice a disk of spinning pale silver light emerges way down in the Earth's core, about halfway through the planet. It's a huge disk that goes all the way through the planet and out to the atmosphere. This is the Earth's maharic shield. Another inhale, draw in energy, and push the energy into the maharic shield of the planet. You will notice that the shield begins to spin. Then one more inhale, and an exhale. Down into the maharic shield of the planet. And this time, you will begin to feel, sense, a little wobbling of that spin. It's beginning to spin faster. Now you'll just inhale some energy halfway up to a point 12 inches below the feet. It's in the earth, but it's 12 inches below your feet. And right now it'll be down on the ceiling, on this floor below you. So inhale from this time from the maharic shield of the planet. Inhale energy up to right below the feet, and then exhale energy. And right below your feet, you will notice another shield of pale silver energy pops out, another disc. This is your personal maharic shield. Again, this time you're inhaling energy upward from the center of the earth, upward and into a point 12 inches below the feet. Exhale, and you will notice your own maharic shield, pale silver shield of light, disc of light below the feet, begins to spin faster. And on this next inhale, exhale, we're going to bring enough energy up with enough force to pop that disc upward into a pillar of pale silver light that runs all the way up through the sun and out to where you don't need to worry about it, and down into the Earth's core. So we're going to inhale energy up from the Earth's center to the maharic shield of your personal maharic shield, and push hard. And then visualize the field popping up. It's like a pillar of light that pops up surrounding you. The more you do this, the stronger you will feel this thing pop up. You can get this if you get the synchronization with the breath. And this was only a few breaths. There's more steps to this in the long version of the process. But just by using these steps alone, you have created a temporary 12th dimensional seal on your biofields. You can use this, and I suggest you do, anywhere, even if you're going to a rock concert. Just bring it up, do it at home before you go. You can get about 2 hours, hour or two out of this version. You can get about 3 hours using the long version, but the more you do it, the more you will feel this frequency in your field, the more you will feel it run through your body. Right now, when I look into the room from the 4th dimensional perspective, I can see different sizes and shapes of little discs spinning below most people's feet. And I can see varying degrees of a current, a cord of energy that comes up from the Earth's core, that comes up into that shield and is running up through the main vertical current in people. Some are wide, some are small, depending on how much energy they're bringing out. So you have just created something in doing this. It may seem like a silly little, I breathe 3 times and poof, yeah, right. But in truth, once you get to know what you're doing and you realize what you're doing with frequency, and you realize when you're using specific color, you're directing specific wave spectra, because each dimension has a primary wave spectra associated with it, you'll begin to realize the technology you are using. And you know what's funny? Nobody said technology had to be hard. The best and most lasting things in the universe tend to be those that can be as complicated as you want, but also as simple as you need. The maharic seal that we just did, the quick version, is a beginning point of learning a in your pocket, take it with you anywhere you go, primary energy mechanic that will keep you safe. You can use this if someone is attacking you. If you happen to be walking down the street and a mugger grabs you. If you can keep your focus enough to visualize that stuff, throw it down into the earth core, forget the 3 breaths, just bring it up, pop out your shield and pop your thing up, your pillar up. You can have amazing effects. I had an experience with that when I didn't know how to activate, at the age of 14, did not know how to activate the maharic shield. I did not know consciously about the seal, but I had one of the guardians do it for me. I was at a movie show, and someone had followed me into the ladies' room and attempted to attack me, and there was nobody else in the ladies' room but me and this man, and he pushed me into the stall and closed the door behind him, and there was nobody around to hear me scream. One of the guardians that I work with popped up the maharic seal. I didn't know what had happened. All I knew is I could see, almost oscillating in the air, this pillar of light around me. And the strangest thing happened. The man stepped back like that as if he'd been smacked with something, looked at me, went into tears and said, "Oh my God, I'm sorry. Please forgive me," turned around and ran. And I just kind of came on going, what just happened? It took me years to understand what happened. What had happened was one of my own higher parts, actually, activated the maharic seal to protect me because they knew I was going to get hurt. This is what you can do for yourself. You can learn to do this for yourself. So now that we're all safe and protected and tucked nicely into our pillars, and for the people who are just getting used to this technique, when you work with me, I've become kind of like a living transmitter of frequency. All right, when you get to a certain point with your DNA activation and your chakra activations, and you have certain agreements with those of higher dimensional fields to help humanity evolve, you allow, or some people do, some don't, but I do. I allow my biofield to be used as a transmitter of frequency. Now, right now, it's like a subtle 12th dimensional sub-frequency that's going out to help sustain all those pillars that you just brought up. So if you're not real good at it yet, and your pillar's not really strong, it gets amplified for the fact that I'm holding through my field a group pillar. The group pillar is called the Shaddai and it means the pillar of first cause light. It's something that one person alone can't do, but it can be done when two or more are gathered. That was in the line, in the Christian line, when two or more are gathered in my name, there I am in the midst of you, be my name. It was referring to the Christed imprint. It was referring to the maharic seal. It was referring to our own Christed levels of identity, as well as those that Christ stood for in coming to bring those teachings to us. So when we're using the maharic seal alone, we are bringing in our individual pillar of Christed energy. When we are using it in a group, we are creating a part of the pillar of first cause light, which is a planetary maharic seal. So every time we do it, we help the planet. You are safely tucked into your own little maharic pillars right now, which means you're not going to pick up any stuff out of my field that you don't want to pick up. This is why I teach you to do that with you first. Because, hey, I'm a transmitter, and if there's anything that you don't want, or your soul doesn't want, or your oversoul doesn't want from me in your fields, you have a right to know how to make sure that doesn't happen. That's why I teach you, seal your own field, make your own pillar first. And whenever you do group work, always keep your own personal seal. If we go back into core principles of creation, we realize that object isn't really there, neither are we. We're just all energy signatures. We are formations of consciousness. We are all energy. This is what we need to begin learning to experience each other as. Ourselves, each other, and the world around us. Because this is where we start to learn things. And we start to see beyond the illusions. Because bodies and buildings and matter forms are illusions. Nice solid illusions when you're down here. But they do not tell you the truth of a being. They do not tell you the truth of a reality that you walk into. You may walk into a beautiful room with beautifully whitely dressed angels. And they could be devils in disguise. If you can't sense those energy signatures, you're not going to be able to tell the difference between energies that are positive and harmonious and energies that aren't. So we're learning to sense energy signatures. I want you to go back to the object. This time I simply want you to put it in your left hand. Forget its size, shape, and even forget its weight. What I want you to sense for next is a quality of temperature, heat versus cold, that you will feel not so much where the object touches your palm, but in the energy, just a few little, like quarter of an inch around the object's etheric body. We'll give you a temperature read. You can do this with any object or any person. Begin to detect temperature in the energy field. Once you get where you can detect temperature a little bit, the next thing is to move your consciousness into the center of the object. This you can do in a variety of ways. Some people just have a natural flow where, okay, that means put my consciousness here, and they shift. Other people go, how do I do that? How do I move my consciousness into something else that's stuck in my head? If you're one of the people who feel your consciousness is stuck between your eyes and your head, like most of us are trained to have it focused there, visualize your consciousness as a point of white light in the center of your brain and put it wherever you want it. If you want it in the center of that object, create an energy line between the center of your brain and the center of that object. And now a portion of your consciousness, as a form of a little white dot scalar wave, is in the object. Try to get a feeling for what that part of your awareness is experiencing. Try to get a sense of the energy. How fast or slow does the energy inside that object seem to be moving? It will also have a sound to it. There is a tone that goes with it that you may first feel before you hear. You may feel it as a vibration. Try to experience the reality of that object rather than the illusion of its matter cloaking. It's there. Once you begin to feel the reality of the energy signature, you're beginning to experience the object rather than just perceive the object. you are beginning to be able to directly cognate some of what it means to be that object. For that object is composed of units of consciousness, just like you are. By sensing that object, you are sensing another field of consciousness. And if you can do it with an object, you can do it with a person, an animal, a plant, a group of people, a planet, or the universe. Energy sensing, basic energy sensing skills are like basic bicycle riding skills. The more you use them, the more you develop the balance, to the point where you get the balance and you just hop on and go. But little exercises like this take you to a point where you get sensitized enough to do the next step. Now the next step I'd like you to try is put the object aside for a minute. We're going to use it one more time, but it's going to be hard to without a mic stand. I want you to put your palms together, first till they're touching, and feel the heat. Feel one palm against the other. And then move them about 1/8 inch apart. And still try to sense the heat that's there. And then kind of move them in and out just a little bit, back and forth. I'm going to show you this and then pick it back up because I can't do it with the mic in my hands. Okay. Now put them up like this. Move them around, a little circular, then in and out. You'll begin to feel fuzzy energy in there. You're feeling your own etheric body. If you don't believe you have an auric field, feel this. You do have one. You just have to focus your attention on finding it. And that's just the beginning of your auric fields. Feel it. And try to build it up. There's going to be a current taking place between the two palm chakras, magnetic and electrical. Electrical will run through magnetic, and you have a closed circuit between the two. You can build the charge by breath. Breathe in, hold it in the heart chakra, throw it down the right hand, transmitter, then inhale it back up this hand. And every time you circle the energy breath that way, you will throw more energy into the circuit in the palm. You can get it to the point where if you close your eyes and breathe and then throw it, you will find your palms actually jump at the surge of energy that ran down. You can play with this at home. You can get to the point where by moving this energy in and out and synchronizing with the breath, you will start to feel what almost feels like a metal rod. It can get so strong in there. It becomes a rod. You could pretend that you were holding a metal tube here, and it moves that way as if you were, and if you go off of it, it'll be like dropping the tube. But you can get to the point where you feel a solid, not physically conceivable, mass of energy. Yeah, and it's hard to use. I need the third hand. I guess I'm having a hard time with the mic here because he's not picking up on the thing. Anyway, when you do the thing with your palms and you build that circuit of energy, the more you do this is a great thing to do to play. If you want something to do and you're bored instead of doodling, do this.